Good morning. Well, we have been MIA recently. I know we said that on the last video. We kind of explained that we haven't had anything going on just because we have been waiting for a motor. And we ordered the motor in November, but it's coming from the UK, and I guess they had some storms, and then it was Christmas, and it was all this stuff. So we've just kind of been sitting and waiting to hear anything, which got a little scary. But we finally heard back, and they shipped it. So now it's finally time to start doing something. We still aren't gonna move. It's still about 3 weeks until we get the motor in Trinidad, and we are in Prickly Bay, Grenada still. But we're gonna start doing all the little things we can do here. Start cleaning up the motor. We gotta get the motor running. We've just bought a new battery for it, and we're gonna install that today and see if that does the trick. We think that's what it is. So things are starting to happen. Things are starting to move. So that's good. Cheers.
On a battery at budget. I mean, good, it's relative. Good for the Caribbean. It was about 200 bucks for a 950 cranking amps starting battery, sealed. Just getting them down in here. It's a bitch.
Just wait until we have to get a motor down in there.
Yeah, seriously. One day, all batteries will be half as heavy. Lithium.
We'll let the motor fun begin. So we're replacing this battery first, and then, since we know the battery works and it's good, Eric will do the actual diagnostic of what's wrong with the motor and why it wouldn't start, because it wouldn't start before the battery went bad. I think it's an electrical thing, but we'll see.
It might wind up just having been the battery.
Well,
which is crazy because I checked the battery, but it may have been. I'm not an expert on this. I'm sure somebody's going to explain it to me after I talk about it right there, but. When I tested the battery, you know, before we ever left for Ohio, I mean, it was reading good voltage, but I'm pretty sure a battery can be bad, show that good voltage, and then the second you try to apply it, it's just like there's just nothing there. But there was nothing before. I did nothing right now except replace that battery, and now I've got power. I'm gonna finish my coffee, and then we'll give it a few turns and see if we need to bleed the fuel lines again, see what it takes to actually get it turned over and starting. We had it running before we had the electric issue, but does it need rebled now? Was there air getting in the lines or something? So it cranked. All right. So we turn it on, we've got gauges, seeing pump.
So, not fixed.
Yeah, so we'll try bleeding the fuel lines, try to get it started, and then see if that's something that persists or what. Maybe I'll go through the fuel lines right now and just kind of double check everything, see if there's anything that can be snugged up. Can't hurt. Alright, go ahead.
Okay, top one. What's that mean? Come on! So close. Hey! Alright, let's not turn it off. Let's just go. Get out of here. Trinidad, here we come.
Not firing a little forward. Yeah.
How do you know?
Not revving all the way up. There you go. Well, this is different. Is Rivers just reading while you play his Nintendo?
He's not reading.
No. That's what it looked like.
That's what, yeah, yes, he's definitely reading.
Definitely what's happening.
While I'm playing.
Well, I'm just out here slaving away on the motor.
Good job.
It's running. Initial testing is good. I gotta say, I'm curious. I want to talk to Chris, see if he's got some insight on this, about the whole battery thing. Just the behavior of it before we left, reading over 12 volts, but showing like zero current when we get to like turn on the key, you know, not even a tiny little bump from the gauges and not even a click from the solenoid for the starter. You know, is that behavior that a battery that it's done will display? Will it show, you know, good voltage, and then when you apply amps to it, it just basically goes straight to nothing? Sure seems that way because I didn't do anything else. Boat's been sitting here for a month and a half, more than that really. Put in that new battery and everything fires over absolutely perfectly. So we'll keep messing with it, keep running it occasionally to see things are back to normal. Didn't take a ton of bleeding to get fuel to the cylinders, but I think there was a lot of fuel sitting in there. Took it a while to kind of burn through it and get all the cylinders firing. Now it's running very smoothly, and this is the first like long test of the exhaust elbow fix that we've done, because before we didn't really have a chance to test it for a long term because we couldn't get the motor to start. And we were being super conservative because we thought we were basically just going to fire it up and go, and then turn it off and sail all the way to St. Martin. Now I'm thinking of it a little differently. We're going to get a little bit of time out of it while sitting here and make sure that elbow holds and everything's good. So far, no leaks at all from the elbow. Seems to be flowing perfectly. We had a clogged up through hull, so it needed some fittings tightened. I kind of cleaned up and tightened a lot of the water fittings down there. Impeller's fine. We got good water flow now. I went through and tightened any of the fuel line fittings that I could tighten. There's one fitting right at the injector that's just a little suspect. Can't, as tight as I get it, it looks like it might be leaking just a tiny bit. But I got it tighter today than I have before, so again, we'll run it for a while, let it sit, fire it back up in a couple days, and see if it's still, you know, behaving the way it should. But for now, fingers crossed, I'm going to call it a big old win. About as good as I could hope for it to be. Didn't have to go through a bunch of electrical connections, everything was fine, which that was part of my big frustration before we decided to change our plans. Is I had gone through and cleaned and replaced so much of the electrical system down in there that I couldn't even fathom what on earth wouldn't be making a connection. So there was a lot of frustration when it happened the first time, just the bewilderment kind of. So yeah, sort of a nice result to just drop in a new battery and have everything just fire right up. So alright, it's been running for a good 10 minutes now, maybe 15. Various RPMs. I got no leaks down below. There was a leak at the tail end of the exhaust elbow where the exhaust hose attaches, but that's just because I put a brand new clamp on it and like cut off the end of that hose so it was fresh. and it just needed retighten. So tightened that thing nice and snug, and that stopped the leak immediately. That's about it. Okay, on to other things. There's a lot of them. Good stuff. When you never type to a dock, it's amazing how dirty your dock tying up to items get. Just lay it down in there. And this is our old tabletop, or our second tabletop. Well, whew, I'm gonna get out of the sun. Well, we are finally getting moving on a couple things. Namely, getting our engine compartments cleaned out. I'm starting with that one over there, even though that's not the primary engine compartment that we got to work on very soon. But we're going to get both of those. I want to repaint everything down there, which means a lot of cleaning first. We'll clean up that engine, which, by the way, running kick-ass right now. We've tested it a couple times since getting everything working. And now that I've got those glow plugs functioning properly, it starts right away. No more of this cranking like crazy. I don't think they're all working because it still takes it a while before it's hitting on all the cylinders and running smoothly. But it's a huge improvement, and it runs very smooth once it's going. So the reason for all of this, though, big things happening. We finally got an ETA for the shipment of the new to us engine in Trinidad, and that is February 6th. And as you've probably noticed by our infrequency of videos, you're pretty much up to date on our timeline right now. We just not had a lot going on. I've been doing audiobooks. We just kind of been living. You know, we had holidays and all that kind of stuff, and just nothing real crazy. I've been working, and we've been waiting to find out what's going to happen with the shipment of the engine. So now we've got 3 weeks before the engine theoretically shows up down there. It's an ETA. We don't have a hard date yet, but you know, we weren't hearing anything from them for a while, and it was really starting to freak me out. So now we're moving. We want to get all this stuff out. I'm going to get the power washer down there. I'm going to go crazy because that's a huge thing I want to get done. It's always been on my list, is to get both these engine rooms nice, because they've never been nice. They've been let go dirty, untended to for probably 30 years. You know, it's an engine room. I understand that's how some people see them, but it's going to be a nice engine room. We'll go with it. So we not only have to do that, but I've got to continue getting this engine pulled apart. We're going to save all the parts we possibly can off of that are good, which is quite a few, because we'll have two matching engines, and so those will be good parts for either should it ever need them. Well, I'd like to be able to have that mostly out before we get down there. I got some other surprises I'm going to try to work out down in the motor rooms too, to make them nice. You guys, you understand what I'm talking about. You know, stepping down into a nice, shiny, clean, brightly lit, dry engine room. There's something kind of special about that. So I'm going to try and recreate that on this boat.
Things are happening. Just don't comment on it at all. Just don't say a word. You're so gross. That's what you need?
Yeah. Thank you.
Good. How's your hole going?
So dirty. I'm gonna need a serious bath when this is all over.
Yeah. It's okay.
Yeah, there's some unnecessary items down here that need to come off, so I'm just gonna do that now so I can clean around them easily. And then, yeah, maybe when I get a few steps farther along, I'll bring the camera down here.
Okay.
Not yet. It's just 32 years of dirt. 33.
You'll deserve your bucket of beer tonight.
Okay. And tomorrow and the day after, probably. On a one-day operation.
Done fishing?
Pretty good for first day. I got from the bulkhead back and way back into the stern. Power wash works so good for that because I can't even reach back in some of there, but it's just 20 or 30 years worth of a layer of just, you know, exhaust film that gets in engine rooms and just dirt. A little mix of oil in there. It's looking pretty darn good already. I can't wait to paint it. Took a lot of the old paint off, which is good because it needs to come off before we paint a new coat on there. But yeah, just seeing it clean, it's like got me excited. It's gonna be cool.
Yeah, now we just have to throw everything away. We have to make a trip to the dumpster anyway. Let's go out tonight.
That's a good idea. Half-price pizzas at Prickly.
Pizzas. Let's do it.
We deserve it.
Yeah, you do. I didn't do very much.
You brought me water. You brought me tools. You gave me moral support.
Yeah.
It's a little tight. We're going to loosen up a little bit. Real short.
Don't fall off. You get the big one?